My name is John Pavane. I'm president of MaxQ Technologies, and today we're going to be discussing our solutions for Acumatica. MaxQ Technologies is headquartered in Danbury, Connecticut. We've been in business since 1986, so approaching 30 years, and have gone through the technological changes over the years, going back to mini computers and open systems and client server, now in the new cloud world. We're an Acumatica Gold certified partner and a Gold Microsoft partner specializing in business intelligence and ERP. And we're building a large collection of outstanding ISV solutions for Acumatica, including the Advanced Revenue Management Suite that we're going to focus on today. It's perfect for businesses, any business that deals with subscription, repetitive billing, revenue recognition, renewal processing. It also works for companies that need to do activity billing and bill for their services. So if they're doing this as a service bureau, we have a billing module that actually takes advantage and fits that industry very, very well. So any of the industries here, especially in software, infrastructure providers, any subscription-based solution fits this module very, very well. And we're trying to control the entire life cycle of the billing and payment collection side of the advanced revenue management. So we're starting off typically in the contract management phase, where you modify the contract for terms, whether it's renewal properties, what are specifically billing schedules, what are you billing for, and again, the revenue management, revenue recognition pieces of that. And then the entire billing process is managed. We deal with the deferred management, recognizing of that deferred revenue, renewal management of the contracts. All this can be tied to project and integrated in Acumatica's project and accounting system. And then we have extensive forecasting, analytics, and reporting features that help you manage your projections, your growth, your churn, minimize churn, and other analytics that are needed in the industry. And it consists of, when we talk about the advanced revenue management, we're talking about a suite of products. It consists of these 6 modules, primarily in the advanced billing, which is the heart of the system, which controls the contract renewal processing, payments, which also allow you to get paid by traditional check or terms, as well as a number of different options in credit card and EFT or ACH, and that's automatically processed. The entire system, we strive for automation to reduce costs and control of this process. We also have the activity billing module, as I discussed before, and that module's purpose is if you're doing these as a service, you need to bill for what you provided to that company, as well as provide the billing and payments for that organization, and then the services that you provide are being charged back to that client for you. We encrypt documents, so again, if you have signatures or credit cards on there, contracts, that is encrypted. The same thing with the advanced payment processing. We have multiple ways to maintain PCI compliance and security on that. So you can store the credit cards or use tokenization with your gateway and be out of scope and help you maintain PCI compliance. Address verification, again, is used heavily in the credit card. Make sure you got the right address. And then our QVision and our BI suite of products allow you to do data exploration and analytics against that particular product. So why don't we take a look at the product now? We're going to start off walking through a contract. So I'm going to call up an existing one. And one of the features in the contract billing is the ability to create multiple billing schedules which represent the scheduled bill as well as distributions of items you're billing for, and we'll walk through that in some detail. So looking at this particular contract right now, on the header level, we have the beginning and ending date of the contract, the renewal date, am I billing for accounts receivable bill or a sales order bill? And if I use sales order, these can actually be stocked items. So if I have to fulfill one of those wine of the month clubs or other things where I'm fulfilling physical items, I can accommodate that too. The default billing frequency, but the bills, and this is used for auto generation, but we can have a billing schedule that is manually created or have dissimilar bills. So if I also have some information about the status of the contract, how much has been billed, how much has been paid, balance. We'll go through late processing a little bit later. If I minimize that top section, I can now see that in this contract, I have a fairly complex billing schedule that includes setup fees, monthly fees, quarterly fees, and all of these will be billed over the life of the contract. The first 3 bills here have been generated, hence the bill amount of $900. If I look at what am I billing for, in the first case in the setup, I am billing for $350 of a management setup fee. I also can go to a membership or an administration charge. So each of these items can hit different accounts and have different revenue recognition rules associated with them, which we'll look at a little bit later in this particular demo. We also have a number of other options available to this. A lot of this is controlled by the setup. I also can treat contracts can have both term. If we go back to the header, we can have both term as well as perpetual. And a perpetual contract is basically a bill to cancel, similar to your cable bill or something else where you sign up and until you terminate the service, you're going to continue. And then we also have a term to perpetual. In the United States, some states don't allow for auto renewing of contracts. So in that case, you will establish a term, maybe to like a cellular phone, to achieve a certain plan. You're going to sign up for a 2-year minimum contract, and after that, you go month to month and allow you to cancel. And the billing activities, contract types are used for our activity billing and service bureau processing. So for the most part, the top 3 are going to be used by standard contracts. We also have the contract class, which we'll look at a little bit later, but that controls the late fee calculations as well as forecasting both billing and revenue going out in the analytics to give an idea of your future revenue and billing percentages. Renewals, not going to get into too much of that today, but we get to look at what method and what billing type, and we're going to see that on the line items when I go back there in a few moments. You can set a contract to auto-renew. You can set a contract not to be renewed. You could have cancel-on dates and reason codes and other things that happen. Is the contract been signed? Prints and notifications, both on contract acknowledgement as well as renewals. Working the same method that the customer has for the AR type of documents. We also have additional notifications that will be used in the payment series. So I'm going to charge your card. We hit your card was rejected. Your card's going to expire. Those kinds of notifications are all set up in the system. And then here we're looking at deposits. We're going to take an example of that a little bit later, but I can require, and the contract class can require a deposit. Deposit gets put on an account. I can't bill until the deposit's paid. And then I can auto-apply the deposits, a number of different methods. Apply the first bill, last bill, leave on account if it's a security deposit or some other method of those kinds of things. This is an accounts receivable contract, so we're looking at different terms associated or different values that would be used in the generation of those accounts receivable invoices. The ad hoc payment tabs, I have nothing entered on here, but this is allowed mostly in consumer-oriented types of contracts where maybe they're behind on payments and you make up a particular schedule, or any type I'm charging EFT, ACHs, or credit cards that are not tied to the billing schedule. If we go back to the billing schedule, the payment methods, each bill can have its own payment method. In this case, this is a business account that is paying by check. So in that case, I'm sending the invoice and then receiving payment, not charging it automatically. So the ad hoc payments is a payment schedule not associated with a bill. We have payment history. Those will be charged as they're processed. The default payment method I could set up to anything that's associated with that customer. Again, we're going to pick a credit card method in a little bit later in this demo and show you how that would work. If I'm using the Service Bureau stuff as billing activities, create contract, charge payments, late fees, all those things will be added to the account and showed here. Promises to pay or deal with our collection, AR collection capabilities, so you can come in here and say they promise to pay these invoices on this date, follow that up, and then there's this whole associated set of activities, especially using CRM associated with that. And then meters are the ability to take meter readings, if I'm leasing copiers, how many copies were made, how much storage was done on a disk storage, cloud storage company, or how many security authorizations that I issue, something that is tied to a contract. Maybe there's a fixed amount, like you sell minutes, you pay for a certain amount each month, but then overages, all that will be controlled by meters, and we're not going to show a lot of details of that in the demo, but a meter can be the difference between the last reading or an actual quantity come in and associated with one more billing lines to bill your client for. So let's expand this, and we're going to show how manually create a contract, and then we're going to go into some of the automatic methods and some other features of this particular system. So here I'm going to just go out and pick a existing customer. I'm not going to worry about the billing, activity billing, service profile. I can type in a particular description. I'm going to leave it at terms based on the setup, which we'll show a little bit later. I can get into the beginning and ending date of this particular contract. I'm going to leave it as a term contract, meaning that it starts on the 26th, it ends on the 25th. I want to set a renewal, whether I have auto renew on or manual renew, set a notice for 2 months in advance of the expiration of that particular contract. I'm going to leave it as an accounts receivable bill. I want to default to monthly. And now as I minimize this to give this a little more room on the schedule, I can come in here and do an auto-generate schedule, which is the easiest way to generate these things. So we have a number of different options on here which help you maintain the billing schedules. In this case, I'm just going to delete anything that was there, which is the default. We'll do this as monthly. I don't need to override the date, but I can set the schedule different from the start of the terms, otherwise it's going to default there. I could also change the frequency on this. In this case, we're going to leave it monthly. I'm just going to go in and pick a particular inventory item. In this case, I'm going to pick the membership, and I'm going to have one quantity of 1. When I hit the OK button, that now went out and generated all of the schedules. In this case, I'm looking at each month bill that would normally be generated, which in each inventory ID associated with that particular item. In this case, it's a non-stocking inventory ID. If I scroll along on the distributions, I can see that I have a lot of different attributes of that item that allow the behavior of the system. Basically, do I allow this to be renewable? Meaning this line can be not renewed when the contract is up. So that might be for a setup fee or a one-time fee. Do not copy. So if I make a change on any line, I can copy that forward to the rest of the schedules, or copy that forward just for the type of schedule it is. So if I have monthly and quarterly charges, I can maintain both of those. And also, if there was a deferred revenue code, if it was tied to a meter, all those things are available on there. So now to simply generate a bill, I can do this manually by contract, just by clicking, well, first I got to save, but clicking the generate bill, which is now going to go out and generate an invoice in accounts receivable. It created, because it's an accounts receivable contract. In this case, it created bill number 012065. I can jump to that particular bill. It's open in accounts receivable. And as I was saying, we did that one-off from the contract. Sometimes that makes sense, but for the most part, you're going to be using going back to the menu, you're going to be generating the recurring bills, and typically that takes advantage of the scheduling feature within Acumatica, and you might schedule this to run daily, weekly, whatever makes sense for your particular organization. So the same thing with the renewals and other things. They're typically done by using the Acumatica scheduler. Going back to that particular contract and schedule, so now in a month's time from now we would generate the next bill until such time renewal would happen. We have actions where we can renew a contract, rewrite a contract, revision numbers are tied, the contract is tracked from its complete life cycle all through renewals. So the life of the contract, we know how long they've been a particular subscriber of your service, and we